Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of It's About Time! So I'm personally excited, by the way. Today we start our challenge. It's currently 7:58 p.m. on Tuesday, October 9th, 2018. So Drew and myself are going to partake in this challenge. Dave has elected not to, which is totally okay. So right now, what I have is both watches, what's on the wrist today, and what's going to be on the wrist for the next week. His Omega Constellation 8500 movement versus my Hamilton Khaki Aviation. So if you guys remember the challenge, what we're going to be doing is, don't set it yet, we're going to wait till we get to 8:01 because that's what time it's just going to be programmed to. I did it exact. I did it exact. So the challenge, as you guys probably remember, is that what we're going to do.
Why are we doing it at 8 o'clock instead of 8:01?
I just always do it at 8:01.
You're an idiot.
I don't know why. It's just
Okay.
what I do. So anyways, so I challenged Drew. Obviously, I don't want to look too much in the camera because the flash right now is just crazy bright. The challenge was to see whose watch can be more accurate. So what I did was I got both of our times set to 8:01 on the 9th, obviously, and I got the seconds hand all the way up to the 12th. And you know, as you can see, mine is up to the 12, yours is up to the 12, whatever it is. They're both set evenly.
We're up and rolling, baby.
So we're just going to wait here until this time gets here, and then we're going to, by the way, this is episode number 94. Dave, in the meantime, what's on your wrist today?
Show 'em, baby.
Well, what's on my wrist is my Oris.
This is his Oris BC3 regulator.
Yes.
Give him a show, Dave. Give him a show.
Alright, so we're within a minute now.
Which never leaves my wrist, by the way.
Never
is
leaves your
correct.
wrist.
Although I did regulate that today to the perfect time as well.
Wait,
Yes.
wait, do you sleep with it on or no?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
You don't sleep with it.
I don't sleep with it.
Alright, so we're at 15 set.
But maybe I will.
So guys, don't forget, I'm using the Clock Sync app. We've told you guys about this in previous episodes.
It is.
This is how you could set all your watches and everything to the atomic clock. Versus, it'll show you what your phone's time is versus the atomic time. So Drew, just start to get a little ready here.
Yeah,
We're
it's
about
like
it.
New Year's Eve.
I know, right? This is so cool. And you know, obviously we're going to explain the parameters of the challenge again in a second.
And guys, feel free to
So,
do
by
this
the way,
at home
it's
and
this
send
one.
us your results
It's
after
this
the
one.
week.
Yeah, guys, you're all involved in the challenge.
Yeah, I know the top one.
Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Inches.
Yep, and that was
All right.
perfect. Okay, so now we're set. 8:01 p.m. on Tuesday the 9th. I'm looking forward to this. I think my watch is going to kick his ass, but I really don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But I had to do it anyway. So he's going to wear his watch for the week. Remember, guys, the parameters of this challenge, and you guys could start this up too. You know, watches are to be timed for a week, non-stop, obviously, but when you wear them, they don't stop. That's the beauty of automatics, right?
I mean, that's the beauty of having automatics. And for anybody who wants to know how accurate their automatic is, it's a great way of doing it, especially for a week time period, because a lot of automatics can deviate over a couple days.
Positions,
Temperatures,
how often you're wearing
weather
it.
patterns. A lot of it has
Day,
humidity.
night.
Yeah, humidity has a lot of
absolutely.
chance to do with it as well. So there's a lot of factors that go into how a watch runs, how clean it is, how old it is. You know, so it's a good thing to know, hey, how accurate is my watch? And we've had episodes on this before.
Oh, it's 8:02.
Oh, well, just want to let you know. Same here. But we've had episodes on how accurate should it be unless you need to get it serviced. And our rule of thumb usually is if anything over 7 seconds either way, you're going to want to start getting it looked at, per day.
You guys have to remember, though, Swiss versus Chinese versus Japanese versus German, they're all different movements. That's the other thing. Swiss ETA versus Swiss Solida, going to be different. It's just, most people I know don't care about the accuracy of their watches. But, you know, guys, this is kind of a cool challenge because I know we've had so many questions in the past. How accurate does your watch run per day? So now you guys are seeing first-hand account that we're setting both of our watches, okay, two very different watches, in Omega. That, how much was yours?
These are two very different price points. I'm glad you ever brought that up.
Absolutely.
We're actually running a $300 watch against a $3,000 watch.
Which,
so,
this is a great
so
comparison.
really, yes, it really is a great comparison. Is they're that much of a difference between a $300 watch and a $3,000 watch with one of the top movements in the world.
Now let's just kind of compare these just on the surface, minus the movements or whatever it is. You know, they both have Swiss sapphire crystals. They're both Swiss-made watches, of course.
They are indeed.
You know, they both have stainless steel bands. Although, quality-wise, you know, probably the Omega.
You'll have a higher quality in the $1,000
you know,
range. You're gonna have a heavier quality.
Yeah, well. Let me ask a question here. Put those both in your hand. Which one's heavier, in your opinion?
The Omega slightly.
Slightly. Okay.
Slightly, but the
So
quality
not
is
by
very
much.
good on the Hamilton.
Okay, now, the other thing though is that do you have an adjustable clasp on yours?
No, this type of.
So he has a dual scissor to point clasp on
Correct.
his. You know, certainly now in terms of case size, are these about the same?
These is a 38.
Okay, so 38 millimeters. So they're
38
both the
against a
same.
38.
Is yours a screw down crown?
Yes.
It's screw down.
This one. Oh no, I'm sorry. This one is not
Okay.
a screw down.
What's
However,
the water resistance
10
on it?
ATM.
Okay, so this one's 5 ATM. They both feature the date, of course.
They both feature the date.
You know, mine has some Arabic numerals and his just has stick markers, but
But virtually, do these have any more than the other one has?
is yours
on
a
it?
screw off
No.
back? It
Yes.
is.
With a
Okay,
certain
so
screw.
mine's a screw off back as well. The only real difference, you know, obviously they're both stainless steel. The only difference between obviously between, you know, his more of a champagne,
No, it's bronze.
bronze, mine's more of a champagne-ish kind of like dial, you know, cream, whatever it is. But the real difference, honestly, lies in the movement.
Sure.
You know, obviously, I would say. I believe that this one is like a 25, maybe 27 jewel Swiss ETA. I think it's the 28, 24, 28, 36. It's one of the most reliable ETA movements, you know, obviously on the planet. Very easy to service. And Drew, which one is your movement?
You're going against the Omega Coaxial 8500 movement.
So now, tell me some of the properties and features with that movement.
The Coaxial 8500 movement. This is
Now,
the anti-magnetic
now obviously,
movement.
they both feature a rotor,
Right.
which
They both
binds
have the
watch.
rotor.
They both have a balance wheel. Does that one have a screw to regulate it?
That's a good question. No, I think you have to regulate this
Computer.
one with computer.
Okay.
The 8500 movement is the newest movement out by Omega. Replaced the 2500, which was around for, I guess, a good 10 years as their main movement. But this one recently replaced it. This is the talk of the town for Omega. This is what they boast about. And to their credit... And
By the way, my watch is very accurate right now.
I would expect it to be. Or we'd be really in trouble. You'd be really pretty far down on this list. The 8500 movement is one of the talks of the town in the watch industry because of how accurate it is. And I've worn this watch several times, and I've worn it for terms of a week, and it's been off less than a second a week. So, I mean, it's absolutely insane. We're going to do the official test here to show you exactly.
It'll be in 7 days from now on Tuesday at 8:01, of course. But now, the other thing that's kind of interesting about this movement is, besides it being well regulated, of course, and I know Drew did his videos in the past about it. It's a highly anti-magnetic. It's against like 15,000 Gauss, which you could put it through an airport scanner and it's still gonna be running okay.
Yeah.
The reason being is because most automatic watches, like I know Drew mentioned in his past video, his Cartier Roadster,
Mm-hmm.
the Roadster, right?
Roadster.
Got magnetized. Why did they get magnetized? What Omega does, Tissot does this as well with their
It's very true.
which line is that? I can't remember which line it is.
I forget. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Balad.
Balad.
The Balad. They use anti-magnetic parts, so they can't get, and of course, they're part of the Swatch group, so is Omega, so they have the access to the tools and the resources in the manufacturing to create parts that are anti-magnetic. But, guys, most people don't care about the accuracy of their watches, but why are you going to set a watch and, I get it if it's like, like within a minute or so. Some people set their watches 5 to 10 minutes. That's a little excessive, in my opinion at least. Guys, you have to remember, automatics are going to deviate. This one may be an exception to the rule. We're going to find out in a week if it's really like that beastly.
Because remember, in this next week, we're going to be going through a lot of shit. We have a tropical storm coming up here on Thursday, so we talked about weather conditions.
Oh, and then we're going to be out
patterns.
on Saturday,
We're
too.
going to be out on Saturday. We're going to be going
Yeah.
through a lot of different temperatures. We're going to go a lot of different weather conditions with a lot of different humidity levels.
Yeah.
And
And
this
it's been
all
hot and
screws
cold and
up. Oh,
everything.
yeah. This is all going to screw up with the movement. So it's going to be a good test to see what we can put the Omega
Now,
8500
let
through.
me ask you this question. How often do you... Like,
Yep.
So, Dave, let me ask you a question. When's the last time that you reset the Oris? Because I know
I
you
just did it for
reset
him tonight.
Like, when's the last time you reset it? Do you know?
That was probably about, 3 months ago?
3 months ago, yeah.
Do you know how accurate it was running within 3 months or not?
I think within 3 months, he was off by about a second or two a day.
What?
Yeah.
Per day.
Oh, per day,
Per day.
okay. Well, which,
I had it
honestly,
regulated
guys,
well.
if you, let's just say this, okay? If your watch is, and I know we talk so much about this, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like my previous video that I did. The mark of a great timepiece. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not the complication of me. That's the mark of it. I mean, you could spend $10 million on a great piece. Will it be very accurate? Maybe it's gonna be accurate to 15 seconds a day. That's not that good.
No.
I mean, I'm sorry for a new watch. For a vintage, yeah. I mean, I get it. Like my old Bow Mercier when I had Sergio try to fix it, and I was still complaining. It was actually still, you know, for a watch from the 70s, that's kind of still within specs, around 10, 12 seconds a day.
Yep.
You know. But we always talk about it because at the end of the day, like, you know, people that have Rolexes and stuff like that, they keep it in a drawer, they use it consistently, like Jack Nicklaus's Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have it he's had it since the 60s, and let's say it runs 5 seconds off a day. That is, without ever having it serviced, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
That is, you know, we talk
It's
about it
amazing.
all the time on the show, obviously. I know we've talked about it with Dave and stuff like that, because that's the mark of greatness at the end of the day.
My Submariner I bought new in 2005. I've never had it serviced. I've had it for 13 years. It still runs.
How often do you wear it?
I probably wear it once every couple months.
All right, so not often, but
I wear it
enough.
for a week every
Enough.
couple months.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's say I use it about 5-6 weeks a year. Okay, still within 3 seconds a day. Okay, 13 years later,
Which
never
is
had it
fine.
serviced. Never had it touched.
And by the way, that's not a modern Rolex where they're supposed to perform within +2 -2 after casing.
Right.
You know.
Right. So 13 years later, there's still, it's okay. It depends how often you wear it. It depends what you want to put it through. It depends with a lot of different factors with watches.
And the other point I'm going to make, because I know we were talking about this earlier, not that I'm trying to ramble on too much, but so many people complain like, oh, I hate an automatic and I have to constantly reset and this and that. How long did it take us for us to reset these?
Oh, that at least 4 seconds.
I was going to say like 30, maybe.
Wow.
Not even.
At least, I said at least 4 seconds.
We literally turned on the camera at 7:58 or so, give or take,
Yeah.
and we had. It's very easy to do it. People complain all the time, but guys, guess what? Dave, when's the next time you're gonna need a battery on your watch?
That's on the 12th, right? Never.
Yeah, I don't.
But
I don't think in this
Listen,
lifetime. Yeah.
when a battery goes out, yes, it works exactly at 2 times during the day. That's all. 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. That's it.
I don't know anybody who likes going to the mall or going to a jeweler to get a battery changed.
You
I always-
spend the time,
Oh.
you spend the money. Sometimes you
God.
go through hassles.
Yeah.
Oh, this battery exploded in the compartment. You got to get a new movement. That costs $200.
It's a pain in the neck.
So
yeah.
you spend $300. You know, if you wanted to save up for something like that for $3,000, and then you wear it for I don't know, maybe about 70 years, 60 years, 50, however long you want. I don't think anything will happen to that.
I think you can be just fine.
There's only been one watch in my life, literally, where a gentleman brought it in and it wasn't working anymore. It was an automatic. It was a tag heuer.
That doesn't surprise me.
It was a tag heuer and stopped working. But other than that, the watch will never stop. I don't know.
There's certain things, and the two things on this episode we're going to be exploring is there a difference between a $300 watch and a $3,000 watch in terms of accuracy, what you're going to put it through, deviation. This is what we're going to explore in this
Did yours
watch
beat up
challenge.
at all or not really?
No, this is only about probably the 7th time I'm wearing this.
My clasp is slightly.
Although I do have some nicks here
I
and
don't
there.
really care.
But stainless steel, you're
So
going
is
to get
mine.
that.
You can buff it
Of
out.
course, you buff it out easily. And number 2, why automatics are so much more efficient than having battery watches. Because even if they are off with deviations, there's still, and I have battery watches, guys, and we know
Concords.
this. I have Concords, I have a Rado that's battery, I have some battery watches, and I do like them.
They're not bad.
But they're not in the same class as my automatics. They never will be, because it's just not meant for that type.
I have a question though. So many people ask me this, and I can answer it, but I'd rather have you go into it. Why does this watch cost so much? Like, let's say you got like a quartz Tissot or any quartz watch. Why does that one cost so much less? Why does this automatic cost so much more than this quartz? Why? What's the like? They both tell time. You know, they're both watches. Why do they cost more?
That's what's in the movement, okay? Do you want to be changing batteries for the rest of your life? Or do you want that ability to actually just wear something and never need to change the battery? It's something as simple as that. Automatics can be expensive, they can be cheap. It's all a matter of what is it made out of, and that's a good thing about what we're going to be exploring over this next week. These are two very high reputable brands, Hamilton
Both
and
with
Omega.
a lot of history.
The only difference is one has an extra zero at the end of it. And so, people would say, well, why would I spend an extra zero? Well,
This will be for you guys to decide.
this will be
at the
for
end
you,
of the day.
exactly. This will
You know what I
be-
mean?
Number one, people do it, they spend extra money because of luck. The first thing that people always look at is design, and they look at what it looks
there's
like.
a lot of people that want to get it because they're like, hey, listen,
Number
I'm
two-
successful, I want to get a nice
Sure,
piece.
prestige.
And, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
number two, is
Yep.
prestige, why people would buy and put an extra zero at the end of it. Number three, the name, because people want a certain name on their wrist. And number four, to impress people. And so,
Quality, maybe, I guess.
and number five would be quality. So, is the quality of a $3,000 watch that much different than a $300 watch? You're going to find out.
Guys, maybe my watch will be off by around 25 seconds. Maybe his watch will be within 1 second. It's not that crazy different, but
It's in the eye of the beholder.
correct.
Some
Absolutely.
people would think it's a big deal, others would think, nah, I don't care, as long as it's on the same day. My wife right now has a watch that's 2 days behind us right now, okay? So,
Date-wise, yeah.
she's wearing a Skagen, it's the 9th, to her it's the 7th. She does not care, she can't even see the date. I love her,
It's true. You can't see it on that.
love her so much, but she can't see the date anyway. So it doesn't really matter what I put on it. We bought her a Rolex, she doesn't even look at the date on that thing, and she doesn't even know what the date is. She didn't know how to date until I showed her. So, I mean, outside of that,
Yeah.
so a lot of people, as Jared and I were talking about earlier tonight, don't care. They don't even realize what time it is on their wrist. Half the people that walk around with watches don't even have the correct time on their watches. The other half don't even know it's working. So, I mean, it's really funny. You'd be surprised if you walked around and looked at all the people with watches on their wrists, half the people have dead batteries, and they don't even know it. They're just wearing it as jewelry.
I think we should just give, before we start to wrap it up, I think we should just give a little PSA, public service announcement.
Yeah.
It's just like guys, if you have an automatic watch, don't forget, you can either shake it or turn the crown to get it started. I just wanted to give a little PSA because so many people are like, my watch died. Take a look also, most of the times an automatic says automatic on the dial.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually,
Or on the back.
Sometimes it takes a little time. Listen, the dead giveaway is this kind of case back. It's dead giveaway. Test drive the car before you buy it.
That's right. The only time you would get into a little confusion is, and you rarely ever find it, is an auto quartz.
Or I was going to say kinetic or whatever. it
Yeah,
is.
kinetic or an auto quartz would be a little confusing because that is kind of a combo hybrid of the two. But guys, you ain't get to see that outside
Wait a
of
minute.
Tissot or
I
Seiko.
just remembered this. Now, I think maybe next week, if you get it in, we maybe start. Don't forget, we have another challenge
That's
coming
right,
up.
we do.
Now I'm wearing. Am I wearing the quartz or the automatic?
Oh, you're going with the quartz, my friend.
Such a fucking asshole.
Yeah, well, that's because of what you fucking made me buy. So.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
But
Who's the asshole? Thank you very much. Wait until you see this stupid
So Drew's wearing. I'm just gonna tell you guys because I think he said it already. Maybe I did. He's wearing a no date for a week.
No, it's a date. There's a date on it.
Wait, what?
I found one with a date, yeah.
You ass.
Yeah.
The one you originally found was no date.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't.
Dick.
Yeah, no. I found one with a date.
Does the Rado have a date or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course it does.
All right. Well, at least I know.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right.
We've got
so-
date against date. No, that's
Although you're wearing an automatic, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a quartz. I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
This is gonna be painful.
You know,
back
we're-
to your Gucci days.
we're gonna wear it for a week straight, and then we have to do an honest review of the pros and the cons. Now have you reviewed the watch that I'm wearing yet or no?
No, that's why I'm leaving it for
Okay.
you to review. That's
All
why
right,
I
so-
specifically picked that one.
All right, so I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna have to wear it for a week. We're not timing it or anything like
No,
that.
no,
We're just
no,
gonna
no,
be
no.
reviewing it. So that's good. We're gonna do. We have Bell and Ross by next week, hopefully.
Yep.
All right, so we'll do the next challenge then. But in the meantime, we're going to roll with this one. Guys, don't forget, if you want to take part in this challenge, like, it doesn't matter, because you guys are going to be seeing this after the time we set our watches. Time it out after you see this watch. Let us know what date, what time you set yours at, what kind of watch it is. Again, quartzes need not apply in this situation. It's automatics and manual winds. Anything that does not have a battery powered or a circuit or anything. But, you know, leave us a comment in the section below. What kind of watch are you guys wearing? You know, how long are you wearing it for? Give us a little story on it. I think that would be kind of cool to get everyone involved in this.
Yeah, I'd love to see which watch and how accurate it is over a week.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we you know, and we can compare them against what these are going to run as
like,
well.
listen, no one's getting a prize at the end of this. Maybe some bragging rights if that, but
it just would be really cool to find out what people's watches are running.
So, I mean, my prediction is I think his watch will probably be within about 2 seconds after this week. My watch will be, let's say mine does about, let's just say at worst around 3.5 times, well, let's do 24 hours a day times 7 days a week, that's 168. So we do 3.5 divided by like 168-ish or so. Actually, no. It would be 3.5 times 7, right? Because that would be 7 days, so 24.5. So I figure mine's going to be around within about 25 seconds, so 24.5 divided by 168. So you figure it's going to run about, 3.5-ish, maybe, if that, give or take a day. But also, when we reset the watches, you know, sometimes they don't go off by it. Sometimes it could be within a second or two. You never know. So yeah, guys, just comment. You know, let us know what you guys are wearing. We want to know. We haven't seen too many comments lately.
No, we have gotten comments.
Yeah, a few. But guys, let us know. We want you guys to partake in this challenge. We wanted to have Dave partake in it, but he didn't want it because he wanted to keep track of it, which is okay. We respect it. But
what Dave secretly didn't know is 20 minutes before we did the episode, I actually set his watch to timer. So
technically,
he's actually in the challenge.
We actually may be keeping tabs of his watch.
So his Oris regulator, we're actually going to give you an update in a week from now on how accurate that sucker is too. All he's got to do is check it a week from now.
That's true.
Do the math as
That's
well.
true.
All right.
Yeah, because all these watches run within literally.
It'd be really interesting to see if. Now these are two. This is more of a $1,000 piece against $300 piece. So it's going to be interesting. 3,000, 1,000, 300.
So we really have 3 different tiers here.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at, because most watches go on grades. Up to 1,000 is one tier. 1,000 to 2,000 is another tier, and then over 3 and over is considered a whole different tier. So we're going to see which grade and how well it holds up over the week, and we're going to see how this challenge plays out, and we go on to our next.
And guys, listen, don't forget, come see me in the watch store this weekend. I'll be there Saturday 12 to 5, time after time, Bridgewater Mall, not a problem. If you guys come in, mention my name, we will give you guys a special discount. It's not even a problem. So, I'm just trying to
Maybe I'll come
spread the word. Anybody can. I'll sell Drew a nice Invicta. It's not a problem at all.
Don't sweeten the pot at all.
I know.
But outside of that,
so this is episode 94. We're on the road to 100. I already thought about what we're doing for 100. All I can say is ladies. And this is my little sneak peek. Now Drew doesn't know this, Dave doesn't know this, nobody knows this except for me. This is the best part. Ladies, okay? All those gentlemen out there who have ladies with his nose, get your ladies to tune in for episode 100. That's all I can say. Because it's gonna be let's just say that episode 100 will be ladies' night. That's just my little teaser. That's all you got. Any thoughts of what it could be?
I'm guessing
It's something we haven't done before, and it's going to be something that's going to, some people may get offended, and some people are going to be like,
I hope you don't get fired from your job.
I don't think I will. I don't think you tune in.
He's hoping for a promotion. But we'll find out on the next episode of
It's About Time.